Good morning. I hope this is finding everyone doing very well. I just wanted to welcome you this morning to Love Dare, and I believe we're on day 13. We're moving right along. I realize that these dares are challenging, and they could really make the other person think, what the heck are you doing? I mean, who the heck are you? But please don't allow their discouraging words, their negative comments to cause you to quit these dares. Because there are some very positive things, strong things that can really make you a better person and can greatly help your marriage. So my hope today is that you're continuing on this journey. If you dropped off for a couple of days because you got discouraged, pick it back up. Don't let the enemy defeat you. He wants to come in and steal, kill, and destroy. He doesn't want you to do these things. He doesn't want you to change. He wants you to continue to be the same old person. He wants to take another marriage and kill, steal, and destroy it. So my hope today is that you don't allow him to do that. So before we get into today's dare, let's pray. Lord Father, I know there are some very broken relationships this morning. There have been relationships where this one or the other has left and found another person. And Father, I'm asking that you create whatever has to be created, for whatever hedge has to be given to hedge that person from chasing what is false. I'm asking you this morning, God, to restore and repair what the enemy is trying to kill, steal, and destroy. Father, I'm asking you to give these couples strength, endurance, and knowledge and wisdom and understanding to get through this together. Please speak to us today in this dare and this devotion. Open our eyes to the truth. Pierce the hardness of hearts. Help us see you, God. Amen. All right. Today's devotion is called Love Avoids an Argument. Proverbs 27:15 says, "An endless dripping on a raining day and a nagging wife are alike." Wow. One of the sweetest sounds in marriage is a silence that could have been a nagging comment. This is not the same as saying that there is no room for improvement in your wife or your husband's behavior. It may be that they are truly acting in ways that are inconsiderate of your time and of your feelings. But it does not mean you are giving up the role of being his or her rule enforcer. Not every plate that goes unreturned to the kitchen sink is worthy of an argument. Just because you can't agree on who has responsibilities for a certain task or a phone call is not an automatic reason for telling your spouse you can never count on them. In a loving home, the need to complain, to nag, to pass blame are replaced by a desire to edify and to encourage one another. Let go of the little things. Pointing out fault may feel like a basic right. Words of accusation may come quickly to your lips, but love gets in the habit of swallowing them before they add insult to injury. You don't have to say those mean things. You don't have to, to continue that nag, to continue that argument. You can choose to walk away from it. You can choose to say, you know what? It's just not worth it. I love this person too much to allow this little thing to bring a huge wedge in my marriage. So today's dare, I would like for you to talk with your spouse about establishing healthy rules of engagement. Now, I'm going to explain all that to you, okay? But if your mate is not ready for this, you can't make them do this. If they're not ready for this, then I want you to write your own personal rules to fight by. Resolve to abide by them when the next disagreement occurs. If your mate is not willing to do these dares, that's okay. You do these dares. Because see, the idea of it is for you to become a better person. Okay? So, make your list. Remember how you respond to things. If it was negative, put it on my list. I will not respond this way anymore. Okay? Now, there's an acronym for love that I really enjoy. And it is live one's value every day. I really like that because it helps me to really define what love really is. And I'm going to use this for this dare and this devotion. Love is, if we really love one another, then we're going to protect one another at all costs. That should even mean that we need to protect them from ourselves when we get angry. But if you value your wife or your husband so much, then you're going to protect them. You're not going to want to let anything try to damage them. So we need to keep any bad names about our wife from coming out of our mouth in front of other people or to our wife or to our husband. When we allow those negative things to come out of our mouth, we're giving every person the right to talk bad about him or her. That's not love. Love protects. So, like it or not, conflict in marriage is something that can be expected. We're never going to really agree on everything. When you said I do, you join not only your hopes and dreams, but you also join your hurts, your fears, your imperfections, and your emotional baggage. You didn't think about that, did you? Because you saw this person as the one that I choose to spend the rest of my life with. You said some powerful words. I want you to remember those words. Now, after you said I do, and you quickly realize that this person may have some issues. Okay, we all do. You started discovering on that day that how sinful and selfish the two of you really can be. And almost the same time, the storms of life begin testing you and revealing what you're really made of. It started to show you and your spouse a whole nother side of you. Can you relate to that? Is that you? Because I know it happened with my marriage. Now these times set the stage for disagreements to break out between the two of you. You found yourself arguing, fighting, and saying very hurtful things to one another. The enemy has now worked his way into your marriage. And he is trying his best to kill, steal, and destroy your marriage. And if you're not careful, if you don't quit doing that stuff, he's going to win. Now please know that you're not alone. Every married couple goes through this. Some overcome it and some don't. The ones that don't are the ones that are basically refusing to bend. They are refusing to drop the pride, and they're refusing to drop the thought that I am always right. Well, when this person decides to be that and not try to make things better, the enemy gained victory there. The enemy can chalk another one up and said, I got another one. Don't think living today's dare will drive out every conflict from your marriage. But applying today's dare can make your marriage a lot healthier and longer lasting. But you got to be willing to do it. The deepest, most heartbreaking damaging that you can ever do, or that you have ever done to your marriage, will most likely occur in the thick of a major conflict. That is because your pride is the strongest at that very moment. Your anger is the most hottest. You're the most selfish and judgmental person at this moment. That ugly side of you comes out. Your wife starts to fear you. But if you take a step back and take a deep breath, before you say the next thing, the next mean word, think about this. that your wife or your husband is the one that you said that you would protect at all cost. That means even protecting her from you or him from her. Think about that. This is the person this person is made in the image of God. This is God's son or God's daughter. So when you are trying to hurt them, you're hurting God's son or God's daughter. You didn't think about that, did you? Or how would you feel if you had a little girl and she grows up and gets married and her husband treats her the way that you're treating your wife? That's not a good thing, is it? I want to tell you a true story. I know this couple. They've been married for 35 years right now. On their 25th wedding anniversary, they had their very first real major fight. Their fight was over a can of pork and beans. The guy liked it, the woman didn't. It was huge. They were like, forget you, I'm out of here. Over a can of pork and beans. Little things. Pride. Get it out of the way, man. Married couples who learn to work through conflict tend to be closer, more trusting, more intimate, and they enjoy a much deeper connection afterward. This couple that I talked about with the bean story, they worked it out. 10 years later, they're still together. And they're working closer together. So you may be asking, how do I get this? How can me and my spouse live this way? How can we have that deeper connection? How can we be more intimate and trust one another and really want to be with each other more? Well, the wisest way to do this is to learn to fight clean by establishing healthy rules of engagement. If you don't have guidelines for how you're going to approach certain hot topics, you won't stay in bounds when the action heats up. One of you are going to hurt the other person, and it's just not worth it. So there are two boundaries for dealing with conflict. The first boundary is the we boundary, and the second is the me boundary. The we boundaries are rules both of you should agree on before you start this conflict. These are rules that apply during any fight or altercation. And each of you has the right to gently but directly enforce them if these rules are violated. This may seem silly to you, but these things need to be in place in order to really get yourself through some major things that you're going to go through. If you don't have these healthy boundaries set up, the enemy's going to come in and steal, kill, and destroy. You're going to say some hurtful words. You're going to do some hurtful things you cannot take back. Once they come out of your mouth, they are there. I want you to slow down today. I want you to think about what you're about to do. I want you to find a way to apply these healthy boundaries today. And here's some for the we boundaries. We will never mention divorce. That is powerful. We will not bring up old unrelated issues to our current conflict. We will never ever fight in public or ever in front of our children. We will call a timeout if the conflict gets to a damaging point. We will never ever touch one another in a harmful way. We will never go to bed angry. We will work this out no matter what the cost. We're going to do whatever we have to take to be careful not to allow negative things to come out of our mouth about the other person, not to throw up old unrelated stuff, and never ever mention divorce. And don't ever say, I don't love you anymore. Words are powerful. They can cut deeper than a knife. So today, find a way to come up with some we boundaries and establish it. Enforce it in every argument that you're going to have. Now, the me boundaries are rules you personally practice on your own. Now, here are some most effective examples that can help you. I will listen before speaking. Be quick to listen, slow to speak. It'll save you a ton of arguing. I will deal with my own issues up front. I judge myself. I'm going to take the plank out of my own eye before I tell you that you got a speck in your eye. I will speak gently and keep my words down. I will speak words of love and encouragement. I will keep my anger down. I will control myself. Now, fighting fair means changing your weapons and the way you see things. Placing these boundaries in order will greatly change future arguments. This should result, when you do this now, this should result in building a bridge instead of burning one down. So my hope today, and my prayer today, is that if you just had this huge heated argument, that you think about what you said and what you did, go make it right, say sorry, come up with these plans. Look at how foolish that little thing was. Was it really worth getting her upset? Was it really worth having him get mad? It's not. So today, I'm just asking you to really look at things. Come up with a plan. God bless you.